Get that down. Go to full screen. So the first area we're going to be looking at is trigonometry. And the big bit about trigonometry we're looking at is a thing there called SOHCAHTOA. So sine, cos and tan. We did a little bit of sine, cos and tan last year in year 9. So today's lesson is very much a revision lesson. So those who went online and looked at those revision videos and did some of those revision questions that I had on there, today should be easier for those who didn't, or you're going to have to work a bit today. So first thing we're going to talk about is labeling a triangle. So in trigonometry there is a convention for labeling the sides of a right angle triangle. So we've always got the same sides labeled the same way. The only one they haven't mentioned on here is opposite here, the right angle. So the first side I always label is opposite the right angle, which happens to be the hypotenuse. And then we've got our marked angle. In this case we've got theta. Theta, which is this Greek letter, is generally what we use to mark angles. So that Greek letter theta, when we don't know the angle, that's what we usually use. So when we mark angles, we usually use Greek letters, and we then use letters around the outside to mark sides. So for right angle with the triangle, right angle triangle with the angle marked theta, the hypotenuse is always the longest side. The longest side is always opposite the right angle. The opposite side is the side that is opposite the angle marked. So you can see here that's opposite. And then the next one is adjacent side, is the side next to. Adjacent means next to. Again, we mathematicians like using big fancy words. We could just say next to, but we like the big word adjacent. Adjacent is just a fancy word for saying next to. So the side that's next to, obviously there's two sides next to the marked angle, but one of those sides is going to be the hypotenuse. So we can't relabel the hypotenuse adjacent because it's already labelled hypotenuse. So it's going to be the adjacent side. So we're about to get stuck into our first exercise. So for the triangle alongside, what we need to do is label it with the various sides. So when we look at it, again, they don't do the first bit I like doing. That there is the hypotenuse. So that's going to be height. And then we've got the opposite and adjacent. So again, you can notice here that they've used letters to label the sides. So you've got angle triangle PQR. So the side QR is the hypotenuse. The side PQ is opposite the angle, and the last one there is P is adjacent. PR is adjacent to the angle. So you've got chapter 12a, questions on page 237. Question 1, all parts. Okay? So page 237. Unfortunately, I was going to have to memorize that for a tick.